Good afternoon to all the dignitaries, respected professors, and scholars present here. Welcome to the academic session of the second Media Conclave organized by the Mass Communication and Journalism Department of Sister Nivedita University. This session will be chaired by respected Dr. Reshmi Naskar ma'am. Dr. Reshmi Naskar is currently the Assistant Professor with the Department of Mass Communication at St. Xavier's University, Kolkata. A PhD from Vishwa Bharati, Dr. Naskar has been into teaching and mentoring students across UG, PG, and PhD level over the past 18 years. Digital media, development communication, and communication research are her areas of specialization. She has, to her credit, several research publications in journals, books, and conference publications. We welcome you, ma'am, to today's session. I would like to request Professor Tanushree Mehra to felicitate Dr. Naskar. This session will contain some very interesting and thought-provoking papers. We look forward to a very enriching and fruitful session. The first paper of this session is Interpretation of Media and Postmodern Communication Theory. It will be presented by Aishwarya Dhar, who is a research scholar at Sister Nivedita University. Following this would be a paper on influence and impact of Instagram influencers and Instagram Reels on youth, a study on the students of Sister Nivedita University, Kolkata, which will be presented by Dipanita Shil, who is a research scholar at Sister Nivedita University. Next, will be presented a paper on role of new media in dance and education by Farjana Yasmin, who is also a research scholar at Sister Nivedita University. The next paper is Navigating the Infodemic, Challenges of Hybrid Education, which will be presented by Shotyajit Shamanto, who is an assistant professor at Sister Nivedita University. The final paper for this session will be on sponsored post of Instagram and its efficacy in shaping Gen Z purchase intentions, which will be presented by Otoshi Bhattacharya, who is a research scholar at Guru Jambeshwar University of Science.
Am I audible to the participants?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
The final paper for this session will be on sponsored posts on Instagram and its efficacy in shaping Gen Z's purchase intentions, which will be presented by Otoshi Bhattacharya, who is a research scholar at Guru Jambeshwar University of Science and Technology, Hisar. I thank all of the research scholars present here for attending this session here today. Now I would like to ask Dr. Reshmi Naskar to take over the session from here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm extremely privileged. I am extremely privileged. It's to be here amid wonderful scholars. What I found out is the maximum number of scholars is from this university itself, so it makes my task more challenging. But it is a true and a sheer privilege to be amidst all of you. I'm looking forward to the sessions because all these sessions basically are centric to new media and digital technology, which also happens to be my area of specialization. So I'm looking forward, and best wishes to all the paper presenters out here. Okay. On this note, can I request the first paper presenter to start? You be seated and be comfortable, and I came to hear from Shurkot sir that you met with an accident.
Um, Good afternoon, everyone. My topic is interpretation of media and post-modern communication theory. Okay. Uh, okay. So first, I would like to explain what this is all about. This post-modern communication theory this postmodern communication theory is derived from the modern theories. It's just what we knew earlier, all the prior models that existed. It's just another form of that already existed. We have these postmodern theories have been taken from the older theories. So what happens is basically the media interpretation of this is a bit different from what it used to happen and now what is happening. Previously, the main task of media was to put the blunt truth in front of everyone, but now what media is doing, it's presenting the things in a very manner, in a sarcastic manner, and in a way where things are presented in front of the audience so that there are perspectives where it's totally dependent on the audience to understand which way they'll interpret and which one they'll actually take and one which they'll leave it behind. So it's basically the media interpretation from what it was used to be has absolutely changed from what it's now. So and here this topic of mine focuses on this interpretation, how media basically thinks, and how previously it used to think, and how and the things that it's focusing on like currently on what it is focusing on. The way the things are being presented, it's in a much more humorous way, or you can say in a sarcastic way the things are being presented. But previously it wasn't like that. There were not much space for the audience to decide whether they'll take it or they won't take it. But they had no option. But nowadays it's on the audience, like how they will connect and how they'll interpret things. Okay, so here this entire segment is challenging in a way where it shows how the shift of the media and and how this is based on the postmodern models, the communication models basically. So it's basically a second phase of what we used to know in the first thing. So it's a connection, like how between the individuals, how it's showing previously and how people are getting it now. I'm having severe ache. I mean, I'm not in a situation to speak anymore.
No issues. You just keep changing the slide. We will go through it. Whoever is.
Yes, ma'am. It's with me. It's with me only. These are my research questions that this paper presented the questions. this procedure of how I thought of collecting the data throughout this thing. And later on the analysis of the questions. Bas. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Should I conclude now or we wrap it up at the end? Or for her, we do it right now? Okay. It's open to the house. Anybody, any questions? In case the house wants to ask her any questions. Okay, I just have a small question. What is the research methodology that you have followed? I mean, studying, postmodern communication theories.
Well,
What
I
is the
have
research
decided
method?
the audience into a very fragile amount, small amount, so that I can conduct it into semi-structured interviews
What questions have you put to the audience? I mean, to your
the questions that I've just shown in the slide, so that questions I'll be distributing amongst my audiences, and I'll be collecting that. So that was my thought. In that way, I would get to know the actual thinking of the audience, what they think, and the media is already changing from the past, but how audience are connecting through it, so that's the only way where we can actually find out the honest opinion of the audience.
Thank you, Ashwarja. But just a small suggestion, I think if you narrow this down,
Yes.
like when you talk about postmodern communication theories, this terminology itself
It's
is
huge, right? That's why I have
Absolutely.
prepared so many things. When I had to say a lot of things, but this
No,
mishap.
no, I understand. I've heard about you from sir, so I'm well aware of the pain that you're going
Yeah,
through.
otherwise-
No issues, but my only suggestion, since you are a PhD scholar
Right,
out
ma'am.
here, you will be probably working on this in future also. If you narrow down, then
It would
coming
be
down
easier
to
for me,
results,
yes.
it will become very easier. Otherwise, this is very, very large, very vague for us to understand. Take care.
Okay, ma'am.
You take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can we move down to the second one, please? If I can ask the MC.
The next paper would be on influence and impact of Instagram influencers and Instagram Reels on youth, a study on the students of Sister Nivedita University, Kolkata, which will be presented by Dipanita Shil, who is a research scholar at Sister Nivedita University.
Hello. Very good afternoon, ma'am. Very good afternoon to all my teachers, students, research scholars, senior research scholars, and everyone present here. I am Dipanita, pursuing PhD from Sister Nivedita University. And today I'm going to talk about social media, specifically about Instagram, Instagram influencers, Instagram reels. These are very popular terms for youngsters and today's generation. I'm going to analyze the impact, the impact of influencers and Instagram reels and on youth. Specifically, I have done this study on the students of our college, the students of SNU. So the title of my topic is Influence and Impact of Social Media Influencers and Instagram influencers and Instagram reels on youth, a study on the students of Sister Nivedita University, Kolkata. Okay, here's a brief introduction part. Please change the slide. Okay, wait. Here's a brief introduction part about Instagram app, about the topic and its objective. Instagram is a video and photo sharing social network. It was founded in 2010 by Michael Krieger and former Google employee Kevin Systrom. In 2023, video sharing was added to the photo sharing app. Instagram Stories launched in 2016, which allows users to share series of pictures which will be disappeared after 24 hours. In 2018, the platform had hit 1 billion monthly active users. In 2020, Instagram launched Reels, currently the most useful and popular feature of this app. This new user-friendly variety of features are one of those reasons behind its massive growth and increasing audiences. The main objectives or purpose of this study is to analyze how these influencers on Instagram, their contents, reels, impacting the youth and young students of Sister Nivedita University. Okay. Who are Instagram influencers? Here I'm going to define in brief. Instagram influencers are Instagram users who have an established credibility and large number of followers, who can persuade others by virtue of their trustworthiness and authenticity. They have an engaged audience to whom they directly connect. Influencers have that power and skills to affect purchasing decisions of their followers because of his or her good relationship, faith, position, authority, and knowledge with audiences and followers. Your brand's influencers are users that employ your brand hashtag who have the largest number of followers. Influencers are playing a crucial role for making Instagram a great marketing platform and also for engaging more active users every day. It has become the most influential app for the e-commerce companies to get the attention of its users and also influencing the purchasing decision of its users. Next, what I have defined what is Reels exactly, what is Instagram Reels. A Reel is an Instagram feature that allows users to film or upload video clips for up to 60 seconds that they can edit, sound dub or add effects to before sharing on the app. These short video clips let users publish creative contents, showcase personality, market brands, or just have fun. Instagram's Reels feature is a great tactic to keep your audience entertained and engaged. You can share Reels with your followers through your Instagram profile and feed. If your account is public, your Reels are accessible to the whole Instagram community through the Reels tab and the Explore page. Okay, why Instagram influencers are choosing Reels to promote their brands? I have mentioned some points, some important points. Here are the reasons why influencers are choosing Reels to promote brands. First, higher reach. Second, more engagement and monetization. Third, showcase your brand's personality better. Fourth, more exposure. Using Instagram Reels, brands and influencers can develop a genuine tone of voice that connects with their target audience. What is the impact of Instagram Reels and Instagram influencers on youth? These points are very important. The first one, I'm briefly saying few points. As the youngsters are spending more time on Instagram than people of other age groups, Instagram influencers have more impact on youngsters than others. The youth trust social media influencers more than traditional celebrities because they are more relatable, having the image of a girl, boy next door. Followers and especially youngsters feel closer to the influencers they follow because influencers interact with them frequently. Influencer marketing is on the rise and is affecting the purchasing behavior of youngsters. Moreover, youngsters are more likely to research the product before buying, and they will check the reviews by the influencers they follow. As influencers are creating eye-catchy reels and contents, young students are wasting their precious time by watching those reels. Some influencers fake perfect bodies, perfect lives. So some youngsters are comparing them with those influencers and are feeling insecure. This is a negative impact, of course. There are so many influencers on social media that promote positive things like body positivity, financial awareness, positive spirituality, ethical values, etc. It has been observed that many young students spending hours scrolling through these reels and even recording their own posts. For many young students in India, reels has become a way to pass the time and stay connected with friends. It is easy to get stuck into scrolling through endless videos, and many users find themselves spending hours on the app each day. I've chosen quantitative technique for collecting data for this study. I have done a survey on the basis of questionnaires. Done this survey on 100 students of our university. Here are the questions. I have highlighted the important questions. Which one is your current favorite social media platform? You can see, you all can see the result here. The red colored portion, that is Insta, 91.6%. And the blue portion, the small portion, that is representing Facebook. So you can clearly see how popular this app have become right now. Second question, you spend most of your time on Instagram watching. Option 1, Reels. Second, Stories. Here also you can see Reels, the blue portion, that is 93.7%, and the red part, that is Stories. How you like to upload your photos, videos, contents on Instagram? That is, I got, the blue part is post. Students given me the response that they like to upload their contents as a post but not as a reel. Do you watch contents, reels of Instagram influencers? The response is here. The 77.9%, the blue part, that is, they said yes, and 22.1%, the red portion, they said no. Have you ever got so much influence after watching a reel of any influencer so that you purchase that particular product, services or outfit for yourself? 49.5% that blue portion, they said yes, and 50.5% they said no. Do you share reels to your friends every day which you find relatable with real life? 90.5% said yes. The response is very clear. This is also a question I kept in that questionnaire. Which category of influencers you prefer? So you can see fashion got the utmost response, 31.6%, the blue part. Okay, here's the pie chart survey analysis and conclusion. It's clear from the information given in the pie chart that Instagram is one of the most popular and it is the most used social media platform by the youth, the students of our college, SNU. While there are some positives to Instagram Reels and influencers such as providing a creative outlet for users, providing genuine feedback about brands and products, increasing awareness of good health, good values, positive spirituality, there are also negatives that should be considered. One of the biggest concerns is that it can be a huge time waster. If users are not careful, they can easily find themselves spending hours on the app each day with nothing to show for it. The last point I've mentioned, excessive use of reels can interfere with productivity as young students spend less time focusing on work or studies. Thank you, ma'am. That's it.
Thank you. Congratulations. Beautiful presentation. I open up this platform for any questions, any observations that anyone would like to share with her. Anyone? Yes, I can see. Probably there are people. MC, if I can request you, there's a question probably.
Hello.
So what we do to more grab attention, followers and influencers to promote their brand, what we do.
You are asking you as an influencer.
No, I'm asking as a I'm like a normal person. So what we do to promote their brand, promote brand for gain our followers and watching my reels to gain some followers or what we do like.
I didn't get me. You want to increase your followers?
Yeah.
Okay, by watching their reels and contents.
Not watching their reels means like promoting their brands.
Okay. I think you will,
But what we do more creativity to like people are showing my people are scrolls my reels obviously.
I think you will just make the influencer famous only. There's nothing that you can do, to increase your followers or something. If you purchase his product or you share his contents, he will get more followers. According to me, I think there's no way by watching their reels or their, contents, you can increase your followers or something like.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Any further questions? No? Okay, congratulations, Deepandita. I really loved your presentation. First of all, the topic that you selected to work was very interesting.
Thank you, ma'am.
We are in the age of new media and we are the Instagram people. So the topic that you took up, studying both the influence and the impact of Instagram, I think this is very relevant in today's era.
Yes, ma'am, exactly.
So I congratulate you to come down with, narrow down on a topic like this which is extremely significant, extremely relevant in today's era. However, Dipannita, just, I mean, if I need to point out certain things, first thing that I found, you know, like while you were doing the presentation, the research methodology that you used was quantitative. You did a survey.
Yes, yes.
Okay, almost 100 students that you have surveyed.
Yes, ma'am.
So there was no clarity with the concept as to why only have you taken quantitative method. I believe when you are studying impact, there comes in a major observation when you go, and it has to be a qualitative study. So a qualitative study is very essential if you are taking forth this work for further studies and further explorations. You should also focus on the mixed approach, which will have qualitative
And
along with that of the quantitative. Secondly, I did not find any clarity with the process in which you've done your sampling. That is the 100 students that you have selected.
Yes.
Whether they are UG students, PG students,
Mostly
PhD.
UG students, ma'am.
There was no specification as
Okay,
such. So every researcher should actually share a clarity with how you are taking. Like it cannot be most. There has to be a mechanism. Either you take say 50 from UG, 50 from PG. There has to be some rationalization. That also, if you work out, it will bring in more clarity with your paper. Third thing that I found missing, and this is important for you actually, the literature review portion, and there are a lot of work related to Instagram influencers and so on. So
I
if
didn't
you-
mention.
if
Sorry,
you-
ma'am.
No, that it's a wonderful attempt. I'm sure you've done it at a very short deadline. But if you keep and concentrate, focus on these three important points, your paper will be more enriched. But best wishes, you did a wonderful presentation. I loved hearing you a lot.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
On this note, can I request the third paper presenter? Can I shift this chair? This chair is, like I can't see the audience. It is, can I put it at some place? Yes, that would be more better. Will you be able to see the screen in that case if I sit there? Or else I can go back and sit there, or I can pull the chair there. Which one would be better? Because I can't see the audience. It's very difficult from sitting like this and talking. I'll request you to just put this chair there. Or maybe this side. Okay, move it.
I can, ma'am.
Wait, Yes, this is better. To meet and to see you gives much more a comfortable feeling. Please, if we
Next.
can have the next presenter.
Next will be presented a paper on role of new media in dance and education by Farjana Yasmin, who is also a research scholar at Sister Nivedita University.
Is this getting guarded.
হ্যালো না না স্লাইডটা চলবে চলছে
এটা কি কোনোভাবে গার্ড হয়ে যাচ্ছে?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to talk here. I'm Farzana Yasmin, PhD research scholar, performing arts dance. My topic is role of new media in dance and education. New media. What is new media? Social media, Facebook, online game, e-book, YouTube, iPhone, mobile phone, internet, digital, information society. So these are all new media. Communication, process to communication. Elements of communication is sender, receiver, message, environment, movement. What is social media? Social media refers to the means of interaction among people in which they create, share, and or exchange information and ideas in virtual communities and network. Classification of social media. Social media technologies take on many different forms, including magazine, internet form, web blog, social blog. Worldwide social media uses Facebook 72, Instagram, then Twitter. So these are the percentage. So most of the, I can see 72% Facebook. Purpose of social media: support, boost global connectivity, education promotion, information and update, improve business reputation, awareness, fosters empathy, noble cause, help government and agencies fight crimes. Is social media killing our social life? Yes, sometimes. Social media affecting our social behavior. Anxiety, addiction, eating habits, affects sleep cycles. Social media affecting our social thoughts also, making us sad, seeing people having fun, comparing our lives to others, increasing trust with strangers, thinking we have so many friends. Showing off makes us happy. Social media social threat like fraud, scam, reputation, hacking, addiction, security issues, health issues. Real life examples: depressions, relations problem, religious violence, suicide attempts. So these are the disadvantages. So what is advantage? Advantage of social media: connectivity with the people, promotion, awareness, entertainment, news and update. People gain knowledge from the internet and TV program. Social media in education. The concept of social media, social networking, e-learning, social media and instructions, channels of performing activities in social media, advantages and disadvantages of social media in education. Channels of performing social activities on social media like Google, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp. So we can see from 2004, Facebook, then Twitter 2006, 2009, WhatsApp, 2007, 20. So I'm talking about right now old media in dance. Right now I'm speaking Bangla, okay? আমরা যখন আমাদের আদি যুগগুলো দেখতে থাকি, আমি এর আগে যে মিডিয়াটা বলেছি টোটালি নিউ মিডিয়াতে আমাদের পারফরমেন্স কেমন, এখনকার সময়। কিন্তু আমাদের ওল্ড মিডিয়া যদি যাই, ওল্ড মিডিয়াতে আমরা দেখব যে গুহা চিত্র, কেভ পেন্টিং, মানে যেখানে তাদের ধ্যান ধারণা জীবনযাত্রার ছবি মাধ্যমে ওরা প্রকাশ করত। এরপরে এসেছে স্কাল্পচার, আর্কিটেকচার, স্থাপত্য ভাস্কর্য, যেটা নৃত্যকলা ম্যাক্সিমামই মন্দির কেন্দ্রিক, যা আমরা খ্রিস্টপূর্ব 4th শতক থেকে দেখতে পাই। নৃত্যকলা এই ভাস্কর্য স্থাপত্যের মাধ্যমে তাদের নৃত্যের যে ভঙ্গি বা যে ধারাবাহিকতা তা প্রকাশভঙ্গি। এরপরে আমরা দেখতে পাই পটচিত্র, বাংলার পটচিত্র, পট বা বস্ত্রের উপরে আঁকা এক প্রকার লোকচিত্র। এছাড়াও আমরা এখনও উড়িষ্যার রঘুরাজপুরে গেলে পটচিত্র দেখতে পাই। এরপরে আছে নাট্যশাস্ত্র, অভিনয় দর্পণ, বিভিন্ন শাস্ত্রীয় গ্রন্থগুলো। শাস্ত্রীয় গ্রন্থগুলোর মধ্যে আমরা দেখতে পাই কিভাবে শুদ্ধ নৃত্য, অভিনয় এবং গান এগুলোর বিবরণ। এর পরবর্তীতে ওল্ড মিডিয়ায় আমরা দেখতে পাই রেডিও, টেলিভিশন, সিনেমা হল, যেগুলোর মাধ্যমে আমরা আমাদের নাচের যে ধারাবাহিকতা বা নৃত্যের যে প্রকাশ তা দেখে আসি টিভি, সিনেমা হল এবং রেডিও, নিউজ পেপারের মাধ্যমে। এরপরে আসলো এখনকার এই 20 শতাব্দীতে নিউ মিডিয়া, যেটা আমরা এখন দেখতে পাই ফেসবুক, টুইটার। অলরেডি বলেছি আমি নিউ মিডিয়া সম্পর্কে। দ্য রোল অফ নিউ মিডিয়া ইন দ্য ডান্স এডুকেশন। আমাদের ডান্সে আমরা যেটা বলি গুরুমুখী শিক্ষা বা গুরুমুখী বিদ্যা, কিন্তু এই নিউ মিডিয়া কীভাবে আমাদেরকে অ্যাফেক্ট করেছে তা ম্যাক্সিমাম আমরা দেখতে পাই করোনার সময়, যখন পুরো পৃথিবী করোনার আঘাতে বাধাগ্রস্ত হয়। এডুকেশন যখন কেউ দিতে পারছিল না, মিডিয়া ইউজ করে কিন্তু শিক্ষা দান করা হচ্ছিল। কিন্তু নাচ কিভাবে? কারণ নাচ তো আমরা গুরুমুখী বিদ্যা জানি, ফেস টু ফেস আমি গুরুর কাছ থেকে গিয়েই শিখব। কিন্তু নাচ বা নৃত্য আমাদের সেখানে কিন্তু থেমে থাকেনি। নৃত্যটাও আমাদের করোনার মধ্যে কিভাবে এই মিডিয়া, নিউ মিডিয়াকে ইউজ করে, ব্যবহার করে প্রচার প্রসার চালিয়েছে। এমনকি আমরা অনেকে ইউজ করতে পারতাম না, আমি কীভাবে করব, কিভাবে বুঝবো। তো সেটা আমরা ফেসবুক, ইনস্টাগ্রাম, গুগল ক্লাসরুম, ইউটিউব, অনলাইনের মাধ্যমে আমরা এটা কন্টিনিউ করি। যেটা আমাদের বিশ্বব্যাপী বা বৈশ্বিক শিক্ষা ব্যবস্থার প্রচার ও প্রসার আমাদের জন্য এখন প্রচুর হয়ে উঠেছে। অনলাইনের মাধ্যমে নাচের প্রসার হয়েছে। আগে গুরুমুখী বিদ্যা ছিল, এখনও আছে, কিন্তু নতুন মিডিয়ার মাধ্যমে কিন্তু নৃত্য শিক্ষার পদ্ধতির পরিবর্তন এসেছে। বিভিন্ন দেশ বা বিভিন্ন জায়গা থেকে নৃত্য শিক্ষাকে কাছে বা একজন নির্দিষ্ট গুরুর কাছে আমরা তালিম নিতে পারি। এখন ধীরে ধীরে নৃত্য শিক্ষা এই অনলাইনের মাধ্যমে আরও ডেভেলপ করছে, প্রচার প্রসার হচ্ছে। এর সম্পর্কে আমরা জানতে পারি যে কিভাবে নিউ মিডিয়াকে ইউজ করে আমরা আরও এগিয়ে যেতে পারি, প্রচার প্রসার হতে পারে। করোনা চলে যাওয়ার পরেও কিন্তু এই ব্যবস্থা রয়ে গিয়েছে। আমরা জানি 2020-এ আমরা লকডাউনে আটকে যাওয়ার পরে আমাদের কালচারটা আটকে গিয়েছিল। শিক্ষা বা চিকিৎসা এগুলো যেভাবে চলছিল, সবচেয়ে বেশি ক্ষতিগ্রস্ত আমি বলবো যে আমাদের নৃত্য জগৎ হয়েছিল। কিন্তু পরবর্তীতে 2020-এ আমরা এই নিউ মিডিয়ার মাধ্যমে প্রচার প্রসারটা কিন্তু কন্টিনিউ করে যাই। আর এখন 2022-23-এ যখন আমরা আবার স্টেজ, থিয়েটার বা প্রত্যেক জায়গায় গুরুমুখী বিদ্যা আবারও শুরু হয়েছে, কিন্তু আমরা নিউ মিডিয়াকে কিন্তু কেউ ভুলে যাইনি। স্টিল আমরা নিউ মিডিয়ার মাধ্যমে শিক্ষা গ্রহণ করছি। যেমন আমি বাংলাদেশি, আমি এখানে ডান্সের উপরে পিএইচডি করছি, কিন্তু আমি কলকাতায় বসে ওডিসির উপরে করছি। যেহেতু আমি কলকাতায় বসে ওডিসি, ভুবনেশ্বরে গুরু রতিকান্ত গুরুজির কাছে আমি ওডিসি শিখছি, সত্রীয় নৃত্য শিখছি আমি আসামে, তাছাড়া কুচিপুড়ি শিখছি আমি হায়দ্রাবাদে। অনলাইনের মাধ্যমে কিন্তু এই প্রযুক্তি, সোশ্যাল মিডিয়া মাধ্যমেই আমরা কিন্তু এটার আরও আমি বলবো যে ডেভেলপ হয়েছে এই নিউ মিডিয়ার মাধ্যমে। কিন্তু কনক্লুশনে একটু বলতে চাই, নিউ মিডিয়া শিক্ষাক্ষেত্রে নতুন মিডিয়ার কিছু সীমাবদ্ধতা আছে। সেই সীমাবদ্ধতাগুলো আমরা যত কাটিয়ে উঠব, তত আমাদের এই নিউ মিডিয়া আমাদের কালচারাল সাইডে আরও এফেক্টিভ হবে। উন্নত ইন্টারনেট অবকাঠামো গড়ে তুলতে হবে। আর যারা গরিব, দুস্থ, তাদের জন্য কিভাবে এই নিউ মিডিয়া আরও গ্রহণযোগ্যতা নিয়ে যাওয়া যায় বা কাছে নিয়ে যাওয়া যায় সেটা আমাদেরকে দেখতে হবে। Not only gym, dance or music, education, this new media is also creating a new alternative system in the invisible of all. Many private hospitals have already provided online doctor appointments. Many psychologists offer services over phone and video chat. All in all, those services are more or less available from home, for which one had to run for so long. But many are acknowledging that the culture of stay-at-home services created by the lockdown during the corona period is going to last forever. As I am sitting in Kolkata, already I am telling, learning Odissi dance from Odisha, Guru Ratikanta Guruji. I am learning Kshatriya dance from Assam Kshatriya, Guru Srimoyi Bora ma'am. Now many people like me are learning. We students can learn not only dance, but anything important online through new media at home. All you need is a little high-speed internet. This is the biggest lesson of the lockdown. I think that is the future. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation. I open it up to the house. Anybody with any questions, any observations? Yes, please, I see a hand being raised. Can I request the MC?
অ্যাকচুয়ালি দি তুমি বললে কি লাইক এখন করোনা পিরিয়ডে আমরা অনলাইনে সব কিছু স্টার্ট করেছি, তো আমরা এইটা ভাবতে পারি ফেস টু ফেসে মানে ফেস টু ফেস যেটা ডান্সটা আমরা শিখছি তার বেশি এফেক্টিভ লাইক অনলাইন, এরকম কি?
না, এফেক্টিভ বলছি না, গুরুমুখী মানে আমাদের নাচটা কি ছিল যে গুরুমুখী বিদ্যা বা ফেস টু ফেস। আমরা কখনো কিন্তু ভাবতে পারিনি যে অনলাইনেও নাচের শিক্ষা হবে, কিন্তু এই করোনার সময় আমরা যখন একদম মানে বাধাগ্রস্ত হয়ে বন্ধ হয়ে যায়, আমাদের মানে দরজাটাও বন্ধ হয়ে যায়, তা আমরা এটার অপোজিটে কিন্তু এই নিউ মিডিয়াটাকে ইউজ করা শুরু করেছি। শুরুর দিকে কিন্তু এই যে অনলাইনে যেটা হয় না যে দূর থেকে আমি আমার গুরুকে দেখতে পাচ্ছি, আমি গুরু একটা হ্যান্ড পস্টার দিল যে এটা করো এটা করো, সেটা দেখে দেখে ধীরে ধীরে আমাদের অনলাইন শিক্ষার প্রতি আমরা অভ্যস্ত হয়েছি, এটাকে ডেভেলপ করছি। এতে কি হলো, আমি একটা বলেছি যে আমি কলকাতায় থেকে আমি কিন্তু আসাম বা হায়দ্রাবাদ উড়িষ্যা থেকে শিখছি, যেটা কিন্তু আমি করোনার আগে 2020-এর আগে কখনো কল্পনাই করতে পারিনি যে নাচ অনলাইনে শিখবো। এবার এফেক্টিভ যদি বলো, অবশ্যই আমি যখন ফেস টু ফেস শিখবো অবশ্যই এটা অনেক অনেক বেশি এফেক্টিভ, কিন্তু যখন আমি যেতে পাচ্ছি না, দেখো আমি বাধাগ্রস্ত, আমি পিএইচডি করছি, আমি যেতে পাচ্ছি না, অলরেডি আমার নাচের একটা ভিত হয়ে গেছে, নাচের একটা ধরো আমার মানে লেভেল হয়ে গেছে, এখন আমাকে কিছু আইটেম শিখতে হবে আমার গুরু থেকে, আমাকে পারফর্ম করতে হবে, তখন কিন্তু আমার গুরু জানে আমার লেভেলটা কোথায়, সেই লেভেল অনুযায়ী উনি আমাকে পরবর্তী স্টেপগুলো অনলাইনের মাধ্যমে শিখাচ্ছে। প্লাস তোমার যেটা আমরা গুগল মানে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ বলো, ইউটিউব বলো, ভিডিও ক্রিয়েট মানে যেটা বলছে ছোট ছোট ভিডিও করেও কিন্তু আমাদেরকে পাঠাচ্ছে, যার মাধ্যমে ওই ফেস টু ফেস শিক্ষাটা না হলে কি হবে, আমরা একটা অপোজিট শিক্ষাটা পাচ্ছি, আর যেটা আমি বলবো বেনিফিট হচ্ছি, কারণ আমাকে সারাক্ষণ কিন্তু উড়িষ্যাতে যেতে হচ্ছে না, আমাকে এসে নিয়েও তো থাকতে হবে।
হ্যাঁ, ইনফ্যাক্ট তুমি বলছো তুমি একটা লাইক ওড়িশি, আমি লাইক ভরতনাট্যমে আমার 5th ইয়ার অবধি কমপ্লিট হয়ে গেছে, আমি ভরতনাট্যমে কমপ্লিট করেছি কোর্স, তো মানে যাদের যেটা তুমি প্রফেশন লাইক একটা লেভেল অবধি করেছি, তারপরে তোমার ওইটা লাইক তোমার ওটা পছন্দ, তাই তুমি অনলাইনে বেশি ওটা দিতে পারছো কি হ্যাঁ তোমার ওটা পছন্দ, তুমি ওটা শিখতে, মানে যারা একদম স্টেজ একদম
একদম হ্যাঁ, এই দিকে আমি বলবো যে যেহেতু এটা গুরুমুখী বিদ্যা, একদম যারা ফার্স্ট স্টেজে তারা অনলাইনে,
আমি একটা নতুন ফর্ম
মানে অনলাইনে তারাই যেতে পারবে, আমি যতটুকু আমি নিজেও দেখেছি অনলাইনে তারাই যেতে পারবে যারা মোটামুটি বেসটা ওদের তৈরি হয়ে গেছে, বেসিকটা। এবার ধরো একদম ছোট্ট বেবি, আমি ওকে বলছি যে আমরা তো অপোজিট দেখি অনেক সময়, রাইট হ্যান্ড দিচ্ছে আমরা কিন্তু অপোজিটে ওইটা লেফট হ্যান্ড ভাবছি, লেফট হ্যান্ড করছি। এবার একদম ছোট্ট যে জানে না তাকে যখন আমি শিক্ষাটা দিতে যাব, অপোজিটটা করবে, ওর সব কিছু অপোজিট শিখবে। তো একদম আমি ওইটা কিছুটা বেসিক হয়ে গেলে মানে আমাদের অনলাইনের নেগেটিভ যেমন আছে পজিটিভও আছে প্রত্যেকটা যে শিক্ষা, আমি বলেছি অ্যাডভান্টেজ ডিসঅ্যাডভান্টেজ। এবার ডিসঅ্যাডভান্টেজগুলোকে আমাদেরকে ওভারকাম করতে হবে। এবার আমি যেটা করছি ধরো আমি একটা আইটেম শিখে নিয়েছি, এরপরে আমি কোনো একটা সময় পেলে আমি আমার গুরু বাড়িতে গিয়ে 7 দিন বা 2-3 দিন যেটাই হোক আমি ওটাকে কারেকশন করে আসছি। এবার কন্টিনিউয়াসলি ধরো আমি বাংলাদেশে চলে গেলাম, আমার দ্বারা সম্ভব হবে না যে সবসময় ইন্ডিয়াতে এসে আমার গুরুর কাছে পড়ে থাকা, গুরুমুখী বিদ্যা মানে কি গুরুর কাছে পড়ে থাকা, যেটা আমরা জানি তুমিও নাচ করো, সেটা আমার দ্বারা সম্ভব না। কিন্তু আমি কি ওটা থেকে বঞ্চিত হব? আমি সেই বাংলাদেশ থেকেও কিন্তু গুরুমুখী বিদ্যাটা কন্টিনিউ করব, কন্টিনিউয়াসলি যদি আমি এই অনলাইন প্রসেসে আমি শিখতে থাকি। এরপরে আমি যখন সময় পাবো অবশ্যই আমি অফলাইনে আসবো, আমি আমার কারেকশনগুলো বা আমার যেটা মানে প্রবলেম থাকবে ওগুলোকে আমি কারেকশন করে চলে যাব। আর একদম যারা নিউ লার্নার আমি তাদেরকে বলবো অবশ্যই তারা গুরু গৃহে গিয়ে শিখে ওদের বেসিকটা তৈরি করে দেন ওরা অনলাইনে যাবে।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
Any further questions? Thank you Farjana. It was a wonderful presentation, Bhishon Sundar presentation.
Thank you so
and
much.
the topic is also so very new from the perspective. I mean, we come from the discipline of mass communication, but mass communication and media being related to a performance, performing arts in the form of dance, that's very innovative, and I congratulate you from the same perspective. Farjana, however, there are certain observations. The topic that you have selected, that is the role of new media in dance and education. Actually, this is a huge topic. Okay, and when we talk about research paper lekhar kintu ekta format thake. Research paper has to be very narrowed down, and there has to be certain specific objectives for your work, certain specific, say either research questions or objectives that you will have to find out. And there is a proper research methodology, either qualitative or quantitative, that you will have to use. Your paper was very vast. Okay, and it actually lacked the format that should be followed typically for a research paper. মানে তুমি যদি এইটাই just তুমি শুধু challenges নিয়ে করতে, if you would have narrowed it down, তাহলে কিন্তু কাজটা আরো খুব সুন্দর হতো। Okay, মানে that would have enhanced যে আচ্ছা সত্যি এরকম একটা innovation, because we are in the age of ICT. There is this innovative edge, there is this advantageous edge, but still there is much amount of challenges that people have to face. What are those challenges? How effective, তুমি effectivity-র কথা বললে, effectivity-টা কিভাবে ক্যালকুলেট, মানে কিভাবে সেটা তুমি স্টাডি করবে, এইটা নিয়ে একটা রিসার্চ, মানে you have to narrow down to certain perspectives. That was very much lacking in your paper, but otherwise it's very innovative and very new a concept. And যেটা সবচেয়ে ভালো লাগলো is to know about your talent. I mean, a person sitting in front of me who is so very multi-talented, so very much familiar with so many dance art forms.
Yes.
It is an honor to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
On this note, can I invite the next speaker? And I think Satyajit Samanto would be the next speaker. Your Satyajit sir and my colleague, my friend.
The next paper is Navigating the Infodemic, Challenges of Hybrid Education, which will be presented by Satyajit Samanto, who is an assistant professor at Sister Nivedita University.
তুষার Tushar, password. Good afternoon, everyone. My topic is basically on navigating infodemic challenges and opportunity in hybrid education. Now, what do we understand by the term infodemic? Anyone from the audience? Anyone? What do we understand by infodemic? Any of my students? To Mike.
Informative academics?
Not really. Anyone else? Okay. So basically, we all know after COVID pandemic hit all over the world, the form of education has become hybrid. Now, what do we understand by hybrid? It's basically interpersonal communication between one and one and through online education that we are all going through right now. Now, let me take you to the background context of this. Education has undergone a significant transformation in the digital age. The COVID pandemic accelerated the adoption of hybrid education. Hybrid education combines in-person and online learning, as I just said. The transformation has brought both opportunities as well as challenges. One of the emerging challenges is the infodemic phenomenon. An infodemic involves the rapid spread of information, including misinformation and disinformation. Infodemic can disrupt learning environments and affect information readability. The presentation explores the impact of infodemics in hybrid education and how to navigate this complex landscape. Now, what is the research problem in my paper? The research problem centers on the intersection of infodemic in hybrid education. It involves understanding the challenges and infodemic pose in educational settings. It also examines the opportunity of infodemic offers in pedagogical innovation. Sorry. The research seeks to identify practical strategies in addressing infodemic challenges. Its aim is to provide insights and leveraging infodemic in educational benefits. The research problem resolves around optimizing the coexistence of infodemic in hybrid education. Now, what are my research objectives and questions? The objectives are to investigate the impact of infodemic in hybrid education, to identify the challenges that educators and students face during the infodemic-rich environments, to explore strategies for mitigating infodemic effects, and to uncover pedagogical opportunities presented by infodemic in education.
The screen has to be changed. Okay, here comes.
Okay. Sorry. Now the questions. What is the influence of infodemic on teaching learning process in hybrid education that we all should be knowing? What challenges do educators and students encounter during the infodemic prone educational settings? For example, whatever medium that we are using, like Google Meet, Zoom, other platforms like social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube, these. How can infodemic be related to and challenges be effectively mitigated in educational sectors? And in what ways infodemic be leveraged and to enhance the quality of education in critical thinking? So these are some of the literature reviews. I'm not going straight into the literature reviews, otherwise everyone will be bored. Now my research methodology. A mixed method approach combining qualitative and quantitative method was employed in my research. Qualitative data was collected through semi-constructed interviews with educators, students, and experts. Quantitative data was gathered through surveys distributed to diverse sample of educators, students in hybrid education. Sample strategies include purposive sampling for interviews and random sampling for surveys. Thematic analysis is used to quantitative data, while statistical analysis was used for quantitative data. Sorry, my thematic analysis was for qualitative and statistical was for quantitative. Ethical consideration ensures voluntary participation, confidentiality, and ethical approval. Limitations acknowledge including self-reporting bias and potential context purpose finding. The methodology provides a comprehensive understanding of infodemic impact on hybrid education. Now let us just understand this infodemic in hybrid education. Infodemic are characterized by rapid spread of information for both accurate and inaccurate information. They have become a significant challenge in digital age, impacting various sectors including educational sectors. Hybrid education combines traditional in-person teaching with online learning components. Infodemic in hybrid education involves information overload, misinformation, and trust issues. Students and educators face challenges discerning reliable sources and managing cognitive load. Infodemic can disrupt learning environments affecting academic performance and well-being. Navigating infodemic is essential for maintaining the integrity of education in the digital era. This presentation explores the complex interplay between infodemic and hybrid education. Now, what are the strategies? Education and institutions can play a very vital role in mitigating infodemic effects. Digital literacy, which is very crucial to all of us, for students, for critical evaluate online information sources. For example, we as teachers, we all give you assignments, which you are very accustomed with. Not only in SNU, but all over the world, teachers give students assignments. So what do we do for that? We have our own social media platforms. We have our own Google engine where we can type in something about any topic and we get instant information. Even AI technology has come up, which is a blessing and a curse for all. We need a specific presentation. We just write in ChatGPT and the ChatGPT is preparing the entire presentation for us. Some of the students are even smiling for this. Next, for example, someone is very accustomed for graphic designing. As a designer faculty, suppose we want to create something new which is taking a lot of time while designing. So since AI has come up, we use the beta technology for all the Adobe softwares. We just give a command prompt and the rest of the thing is done for hardly 2 to 3 minutes. Automatically the images are generated. Automatic voices are being generated through text. Automatic speeches are being generated through specific command prompt. Then fact checking, which is also very important. Being students of journalism, being working professionals from the field of journalism, we always believe in fact-checking. Without fact-checking, without cross-checking an information, every information might not be true that is reaching to the audience. Then promoting skepticism and that encourages the students to question information and sources critically. We should always question. Infodemic awareness can be integrated in crucial and foster information literacy. Collaborating learning among educators and facilitates to share best practices. Effective infodemic mitigation enhances the quality of education in hybrid settings. Now these are two case studies that I've done. Just in a brief, I'm just telling. One is case studies for the higher education, how they are taking steps to overcome this misinformation in the form of hybrid education as in infodemic. Another one is the K-12 education regarding infodemic issues. Now what is this K-12? K-12 basically means the education sector starting from kindergartens to class 12s. Now our discussions. It explores the implications of the research for education and policymakers, strategies for addressing infodemic challenges and harassing opportunities are analyzed. The presentation highlights the significance of infodemic in hybrid education. Recommendations are provided for adapting evolving information landscape. Continued research to encourage to understand the long-term impact of infodemic in education. Now coming down to the conclusion. I conclude by saying the conclusion summarizes the main findings and contributions of the research. It emphasizes the significance of addressing infodemic in hybrid education. Recommendations to provided for educators and policymakers to navigate infodemic effectively. To research highlights both challenges and opportunities presented in the infodemics. Continued exploration and infodemic in education encourages to adapt in the age of digital era. Education plays a pivotal role in preparing students for information-rich future. Thank you all.
Open to the house for questions, for observations. I think this is a very interesting topic. We have all been fighting the infodemic. We've all been seeing the hybrid model of education. Unfortunately, the COVID forced us to go into that model.
Even after the NEP structure that has been formed for the 2020, which is also under my research paper, NEP also says to go on hybrid mode of education. So whatever certificate coaches, suppose individual is doing a job and he wants to pursue an MBA degree, he or she can easily go to any of the websites and join an ethical website which is registered under the government of India, can go in those websites and register themselves for specific courses.
Absolutely. Moot courses, SWAM courses are also being emphasized upon.
So any questions from my students? You guys are sharing information, but no information is coming as a feedback.
Okay, Shrutajit, thank you. Thank you
Thank you,
for
ma'am.
this wonderful presentation. I mean, this is a topic that we all relate with as we have gone through and we've seen this dark era. We were all being educators, being students, we've all been a part and parcel of this online and hybrid model of education. And yes, navigating the infodemic part of it. So thank you. I mean, this is extremely significant and relevant a topic. Thank you for the selection of the topic. However, I mean, your paper has been beautifully structured with objectives, research questions, and even probable, tentative solutions as to how do we go about with, overcoming the challenges of infodemic. But I have just noted down a few observations
Sure,
which I
ma'am.
thought was missing, and if things are incorporated that way, it would actually enhance the paper. I mean, it would make the paper more enriching. First is you spoke about research methodology, where you said that you were including mixed methodology.
method, yes.
That is, you were doing both
Qualitative
qualitative
and
and
quantitative.
The presentations actually did not show the quantitative part of it. We saw the qualitative part of it. We saw how you did case studies and focus group with experts and so on. But the qualitative part was probably missing, and had that been analyzed, it would have been, further it would bring in more clarity. Second of all, I found certain observations, like specifically when we talk about hybrid model of education, and when we are talking about infodemic and challenges of fighting and overcoming infodemic, there are various factors which come into the picture skew. Like, say, take for example the geographical location. So if you bring in those concepts,
Narrow down the geographical
yes,
locations.
you spoke about the challenges more from the perspective of misinformation, disinformations, and online wrong informations and so on. But again, a major issue which is more root to that of the misinformation, disinformation, you forgot to speak about the digital divide. So certain concepts of digital divide and concepts like that of geographical availability and feasibility, I think that would make it more interesting. Also, since you were dealing and you spoke about educators and educational institutions coming into the scenario, the infrastructure possibility. I mean, an organization like SNU or an organization that I represent from, we are private concerns and we have a beautiful infrastructure, but there are challenges and issues
Like,
that might...
one thing I would like to act is, like, the private education system is more, to me, it's getting more advanced than the government education sectors, because we have funds. The basic fact is we have funds. We have the infrastructure, whereas the government educations are taking time. They are trying to come as far as the private education, but it would take some time.
Exactly. So just a small mention of the governmental structure. I mean, it would make your paper
Sure,
absolutely
ma'am. Sure, I'll keep this in
cover
mind.
all the aspects. Thank you, but
Thank
I
you,
loved
ma'am.
it. It was wonderful. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
and
thank you.
congratulations. On this note, again, we have Atushi Bhattacharya as the last paper presenter, my colleague, and a wonderful friend also at the same time. Atushi, all over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for such a
The
warm
last
welcome.
and final paper for this session will be on sponsored posts on Instagram and its efficacy in shaping Gen Z's purchase intentions, which will be presented by Atushi Bhattacharya, who is a research scholar at Guru Jambeshwar University of Science and Technology, Hisar.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And yes, thank you so much. Thank you. After Satyajit sir's awesome presentation, I don't know whether I would reach that benchmark. I would try. Yes, the topic of my research is, the research paper is sponsored posts on Instagram and its efficacy in shaping Gen Z's purchase intentions. Sorry. You will be changing the slide? Will I be able to do that? Thank you. Okay, fine. So before, just a brief like the introduction, and then I would go into the findings and analysis. So when we talk about influencer or influencer marketing, we say that, a person who has a huge and, engaged social media following. There are different types of even influencer. When you just search on internet, you talk about mega influencers, macro influencers, micro influencers, and nano influencers. And we know that, the influencers who have more than 1 million follower count, they are, counted in mega influencers. So like social media influencers are people, or it can be brand, it can be even nowadays in the age of AI, it can be robots. So normally, these people who leverage the influence, the reach of a brand with whom they are associated with, they help in increasing the sales of that brand when they are associated with it. They encourage the community, the fans, to take action based on their recommendations. And and it depends on the size of their follower base. So there are different definitions of influencer, and when we talk about area of influencer marketing, I have mentioned, I have taken it from the research paper of Hall 2016, that area of influencer marketing was defined as a non-promotional approach to marketing in which brands focus their efforts on opinion leaders. So influence, we already know about being mass comm students, we know about opinion leaders, we know about the two-step flow theory, how media doesn't have a direct impact on the audience, on the viewers. It passes through the opinion leaders, and they have very important role in influencing the decisions. So I talk about, so the brands focus their efforts on opinion leaders, they choose opinion leaders, and they do not go for direct marketing, touch points. They pass their marketing efforts through influencers, through association with different influencers. So influencers, add value to a brand, or a product or a service, and the credibility of the influencer is a very important, factor for the effectiveness of advertising, as mentioned by Keller in 2005. So compared with traditional celebrities, because we know when we talk about influencers, we have many Bollywood, Tollywood celebrities. Even now, I will just show how now politicians are also featuring on Instagram, and they are also acting as not as influencers, but they have other things to promote. They promote their ideologies through Instagram. They do not promote brands or services. So but yes, there are traditional celebrities, and now normal we as user generated content, we as content creators have the opportunity to use social media and act as influencers. So we can also be like when we, by the virtue of the content we generate, or the users, they can they can play important role, and brands approach them to promote a particular product or service. Consumers relate better to social media influencers and perceive them to be more authentic. So there are many research papers and studies which are going on in the field of social media influencers, and how they have become a dominant information source from which consumer obtain information about different products and services. So now these are the names of the top 10 influencers on Instagram, and their follower base and the professions. So I know you are already aware of the names like Virat Kohli, Priyanka Chopra, Shraddha Kapoor, Alia Bhatt, Narendra Modi. As I said, right, he is growing as a big influencer. Deepika, Katrina, Neha, and the list is very similar when we talk about the social media influencer in Kolkata, in Bengal. Jeet is the the celebrity who has the maximum follower base, and Nusrat Faria is the Mimi Chakrabarti. There are many names who are big on Instagram. So when now coming to Instagram Reels, so I don't think there is any need to talk about Reels, but for the purpose of my study, I have taken the contents or posts or asked questions based on the Reels which are less than 90 seconds, or the video posts which are less than 90 seconds, and the images. there are certain statistics which I, take help to prove the rationale of my study, that how, according to January 2023, this is a world data where, the favorite social media platforms, if we see, then Instagram is the, the second most favorite after WhatsApp. Instagram Reels audience overview, if you can see, the potential audience that the meta reports can be reached with ads in Instagram Reels. So the figures show immense potential. When we talk about Instagram ad reach ranking, then India is, on the first position, as we can see in the January 2023 report. Now, the third part, when I talk about the topic, so the third part was the effect on Gen Z. So Gen Z or post-millennials, they are called by different names, Zoomers, I generation, Centennials, So there are different sources. When I come across the word, during my literature review, there were many sources talking about the, mentioning about the age group and all. So the most common of them was that the people who were born between 97 to 2012. So 2003, they must be 11 years old. So that's why I have kept my the sample to the Gen Z, 11 to 26 years old. And then Generation Z, obviously why Generation Z, I will again, show you some more data which shows that Instagram is increasingly a young, platform. People, the Gen Z are attracted towards it. They, follow it a lot. So Generation Z is, followed by Generation Y and then X. X was the first, generation to be assigned a letter. So, Instagram advertising audience profile. If you now see the audience profile of advertisements, you can see that 13 to 17, 18 to 24, 25 to 20 to 34. So this is the age group which is the highest or the largest number which constitute the advertising audience profile of Instagram worldwide. When I saw, again, I came across a data which showed that following influencers on social media, then also the age group is, 16 to 24, 25 to 34. So this age group is seen as, the age group which is, mostly, they are, in a large number, they are following the influencers. So now, like this is why I chose Gen Z, the Instagram and Instagram Reels for the purpose of my research. Coming to the research objectives, I have conducted the study to assess the engagement of sponsored reels on Instagram among Gen Z population of Kolkata, to identify whether the influencer marketing in form of product reviews, testimonials, how-to videos, whether they are playing any significant role in aiding consumers' decision-making process. When whether they, the purchasing intentions, whether there is any role in that. To also find out the perception of Gen Z about the factors present in these contents that shape their purchase intentions, why they are liking these sponsor reels, because there is a very wide spread normally or thinking or a hypothesis that normally ads, we normally skip ads, we do not go through the ads. When we are watching a content which is very interesting, we normally skip the ads or any promotional event, any promotional activity. So that's why, whether, what are the factors which are making the Gen Z, where the attention span is, very less. So what are the factors that they are, forced to see the entire content, or they are, whether after watching the content there is any effect on them. Coming to the research methodology, so exploratory cum descriptive research design, I have followed a mixed method approach where I have, as I shared the 10 top influencers. So I have gone through the posts, the reels posted by the influencers in Kolkata, and also the top 10 influencers of India. And I have gone through their reels, and I have done thematic analysis. For example, lots of data was collected. I'll just talk about that later, about the analysis part. And in the quantitative method, I have conducted a survey of 170, sample size, and the survey was stick to, Gen Z people. And the sampling technique which I used was convenience and snowball sampling. So obviously, because of the smaller time, the time restraint for, so that's why I opted for the convenience and snowball sampling. And yes, I have, there were 20 questions in the questionnaire and divided into demographics. The demographics were basically on age group, education, and the gender. And the psychographic questions were, the time the Gen Z people spent on Instagram, why they use Instagram, the reason for their, using it. Do they, watch sponsored reels? Whether they have experienced that there is an increase in the, their following of sponsored reels. If there is any increase, what are the reasons for the increase? If there is no change or decrease in the sponsored, the following of sponsored reels, why there is a decrease, why they have not. I have even asked the Gen Z population about whether they have made any purchase, watching any sponsored content, what category, of products they have purchased after watching Instagram. And I have also asked about their opinion on the recommendations, whether, they trust the sponsored reels, whether they feel that they are authentic or not. So it was a combination of 20 questions. So now coming to the data analysis part. So when asked about hours spent on Instagram daily, so before that I just want to make one comment, because when I asked students the people from age group of 11 to 26 to fill the survey, there were certain, challenges which I faced. For example, there were certain students who said that, ma'am, we do not have an Instagram account. Is that okay? We follow Facebook or YouTube, but out of 170, there are 3 such students who said that they do not have Instagram account. They only use Facebook and YouTube as a social media, and WhatsApp as a social media platform. The second thing is, some students, when doing snowball sampling, when I approached my graduation and the postgraduate students, and I asked them to get it filled by their, siblings or cousins or, friends who are in 11, 12, 10, 9, because the age group of 11 to 14, they said that, ma'am, because it's 10th class, it is not allowed to use Instagram. So beforehand, they used to use Instagram, and after they, complete their 10th exam, they will be using Instagram again. So this was 5, such, respondents. Then there were around 12 respondents who said that they are not allowed by their family to use Instagram at all. They will be able to do that only after they, pass their class 12 examination. So that's why, in my final data analysis, you will see just 152 respondents, because I have excluded these responses from my final survey. So hours spent on Instagram every day, we can see that because they were my students, so they were apprehensive. I know this is a research limitation. They could not say that more than 6 hours, likh de kya ma'am, you will get to know that we spent so much time on Instagram. But the reason for this study is just because I saw them, scrolling Instagram in the class. So I thought that whether it is of any use or not, let's just find out that. So they are only the, these students are only the inspiration for, for this research paper. So they, conveniently, I can see that, more than 6 hours they have not. So I could, convince them ki no, it will be anonymous. Please, fill whatever you feel like. So that's why they said ki 2 to 4 hours dekhne mein acha lag raha hai. These are the biases in research which normally happen. So they could not, do that. So the maximum people filled, 4 to 6 hours or 2 to 4 hours. Identifying a promotional reel. I asked them a question, how do they, whether they are able to identify a sponsored content or a promotional reel when they see one. So they said that, they identify by when the person, the influencer is using it, or some hashtags are used along with the, the post or the reel. Sometimes, there are, sponsored ad written over there. So yes, they were, largely able to identify promotional reels on Instagram. I will be quickly, summarizing now. I know I don't have time. So I have used SPSS for my statistical analysis. So that's why the cross tabulations between age group and whether, they have purchased a product after watching sponsored posts. 30.9% in the age group of 19 to 22 years say that they have never purchased a product after watching the sponsored post on Instagram. And this is the majority. And followed by 28.3% in the same age group, they agree to have made purchases after being influenced by sponsored posts. I have not expected this result because I thought, because they spend so much time. The next cross tabulation is between the hours spent on Instagram, on Instagram, and the purchasing decision, the brand presence influenced, or the purchasing decision influenced by the brand presence and the time they spent on Instagram. So here we can see that respondents who spent 2 to 4 hours on Instagram, they say that their purchasing decisions, somewhat rely on the brand's Instagram presence. And none of the respondents who spend, 4 to 6 hours, because they are, spending so much time, they, none of them believe that their purchasing decisions being greatly influenced. So they were, the greatly influenced part was very less in the findings, and somewhat or little was the response which I received in this category. The next is hours spent on Instagram, the cross-tabulation between the opinion and the hours spent, the opinion on the Instagram reels. They are, perception of the Instagram reels. 14.5% followers who use Instagram for 1 to 2 hours daily find influencers inauthentic and believe that they promote brands just for money. That's why they never made a purchase. They just just scroll. 15.1% followers say that they follow social media influencers who only promote products they believe in, like they say that if Virat Kohli is promoting wrong, which is his brand, because he believes in, that's why maybe we will, purchase that. Or if we believe that this product is used by this celebrity or influencer, then only we, make purchasing decision. If, for example, if Dabur Lal Tel, or Navratan Tel, promoted by any celebrity, and we can make that that person never uses that, we are not going to purchase that. 11.2% who's, there are respondents who say that sponsored reels makes them trust the content less, just because of the, they enjoy the regular contents, but as soon as they see a sponsored content, then, they do not trust that content a lot. There are many findings, because as we as we know that, I had 14 questions. I found that largely the Gen Z was, scrolling the Instagram for pleasure and passing their time. They find the posts very entertaining. They think that memes and jokes make the content very interesting. Even if it is a sponsored post, they do not, worry about that. They are least interested ki sponsored hai ya nahi hai, if it has memes and jokes. And second is, advices, tips and advices. I have seen many students, saying that they follow mental health, the psychological tips and advices, or mental health advices given by influencers. Also, many students, many respondents mentioned that we, follow everything apart from religion. So they were very, specific on that. So offers and promotions was another thing, another factor which, made a positive brand perception among the Gen Z, along with, memes and jokes and tips and advice. And these are the, some of the posts of the top 10, influencers which on which I did a qualitative analysis, the content analysis. I have, divided the posts under 5 themes, like the posts which are personal. There are certain posts which are related to their career. There are certain posts which are, related to, directed towards the fan posts. Basically, they are known as fan posts, where you word is used. For example, Virat Kohli did a fan post which, became very viral during his, IPL defeat, that he apologized to his fan. So there were fan posts. Then there were celebrity interactions where, they are, seen with another celebrity and they are posting it, thanking them, sometimes promoting their movies and endorsements. So there were these 5 themes under which I have done the content analysis, and I found that, for example, the mega influencer Virat Kohli, I found that in his personal posts, he normally put, or posts his fitness regime, and his, the relationship, his family along with his mother or, wife. And in his, career, obviously the brand ambassador, the products which he endorses, we find a lot of, contents based on that. So I know there is a time constraint. I have included the qualitative analysis in my research paper. So I will just end by saying this line, that 73% of respondents, they find an increase in the number of influencers they follow as they observed a balance between their promoted content and regular content. And some respondents in this 73%, they said that they had a good experience after buying a recommended product. The product category they buy the most was beauty and makeup and fashion. This is the most, purchased content by the Gen Z category. So they have purchased it, followed by 27% who either found that there is no change in their Instagram, following pattern, or there is a decrease, because the reason they mentioned was that they found that there was more promotional content than the regular content which they enjoy. They now skip the promotional contents, and sometimes they see that one celebrity is promoting a lot of products, many products. So which is, that's why they feel that it's, not authentic anymore. Thank you so much. I'm extremely sorry if I have taken a lot of time.
I open it up to the house for any questions, observations as well are invited.
Good afternoon. I have a very simple question. Could you provide some constructive criticism on how as you said, brands approach certain influencers for partnerships, or sometimes it happens like in both ways. So could you provide some constructive criticism on how it adversely affects the viewers?
Okay, the brands
Approaching the influencers and having them post sponsored contents, and how it adversely affects the viewership.
Adversely, as I said, according to the survey, the responses, the answers, when a person, a viewer, or audience, or a follower finds that the celebrity or influencer who is promoting a particular brand actually does not believe in that brand himself or herself, or he or she is not using it and he's just promoting it for the sake of money, then the people are found to be, not following those posts or the influencer. So that can act as a negative, impact for the brand sometimes. And one more thing, you may remember about, celebrities being, sick, and they are, they are fit, for example, I don't want to take names, they are celebrities who fall, sick because they are, promoting a tel ka ad, and then brands find a negative association, and then they, withdraw those things. Then you must have seen Cristiano Ronaldo's, the famous, the viral, that, the exchange of water bottle and a particular brand, how it adversely affected that brand's, image. So these are, certain things, because now, as I said in the very beginning, now, it's about the two-step flow. It's not direct impact, it's a limited impact. It's passive, and the audience is no more passive, it's an active, engagement. So people know about that. They are.
Another question related to this. So do you believe that there should be gatekeeping on product quality before it reaches the...
Yes, there are, if you see the advertising code of conduct, there are lots of changes done here, there, there are, lots of new codes and conducts like that the celebrity must sign before, promoting something and all. So as you go up in your, classes, you will be learning about the advertising code of conduct, what is unethical advertising and all. So you will get your answers clarified there. There are restrictions, but now social media and, internet, there are, it's again, there are many code and conducts for print media, television, and radio, but yes, social media, internet, digital media, stringent code of conducts are not there. There are, again, it's a debatable issue we can discuss in class.
Thank you, Atushi, for that wonderful presentation, a wonderful research paper, absolutely following all research norms and the structure, the format. It was a wonderful presentation, a very holistic study, giving absolute in-depth understanding. I I was wondering, I just had a small question.
Yes,
to
ma'am,
you,
please,
and,
please, sure.
It may be out of my curiosity
Yes,
also. Like, what is the future in case of social media and social media influencers impacting the purchasing behavior?
Ma'am, because of a very small sample size which I have taken, like 170, and also I have, restricted myself to the Gen Z only. Maybe there is a further scope which I was also interested in. Maybe, this is not the final thing which I have. That's why I'm not saying it's conclusion, it's just findings. Maybe if I increase the sample size, maybe if I increase more, people who actually make the purchase decisions, because they may, the age group up to this may be, just asking for something after watching something or not. So, but maybe if I include more people, the more age group, I'll get a better picture. So actually, ma'am, right now, to be very honest, I'm not in a position to, say, anything concrete, this is the future. Of course, there is immense, opportunity. These students, because I have, it was out of my curiosity also, whether they purchase, when they are, watching, they are spending so much time, brands are going out of their way to be, associated with them, spending so much of money. So, ये लोग कुछ कर भी रहे हैं, उसमें कुछ contribute कर भी रहे हैं कि नहीं. And then, so this is what I found, कि they are just scrolling, just passing time. They do not like their teachers' faces. That's why they are scrolling. So उनको लगता है कि notes upload हो जाएगा, तो अभी class में पढ़ के क्या फायदा? So it's like that only. So yes, ma'am. But definitely, I would like, that is a future scope, and I would like to, work on that. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you for this wonderful presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
On this note, we come down to the end of all the paper presentations. Congratulations to all the paper presenters. I enjoyed everyone's paper out here, and it was so much of, diversifications. Like, I had people from, the performing arts presenting a paper. I had people from academics and educators writing paper. We had people from the social media aspect coming in. So much of diversification. that we went through, that we witnessed over this 1.5 hour session. So thank you for this wonderful paper presentation session, and congratulations, my heartiest congratulations to all paper presenters. And thank you to the MC who's been doing a beautiful job out here. I came to learn that you are just an undergraduate 3rd semester student, and I was wondering, UG students doing it so well. Thank you for this wonderful show.
As we come to the end of this National Media Conclave, I want to express our heartfelt gratitude to our guest speakers and paper presenters for gracing us with their presence and wisdom. Let's continue to explore, innovate, and shape the future of media and communication. Thank you all for being part of this enriching experience.
Thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.